Welcome to Midnight Whispers 13. Tonight, we journey deep into the heart of Edo-era Japan, where a simple object, an old umbrella, becomes the vessel of a terrifying spirit. This is the story of the Kasa-obake, the cursed umbrella that haunts the forgotten corners of history. In a time long past, there lived a man named Hiroshi. He wasn't a bad person, but he was careless, often treating his belongings as though they were disposable. Hiroshi ran a small shop in Edo, selling fine silks and rare teas. His life was comfortable, but his lack of respect for the things he owned would soon lead him down a dark path. Hiroshi's neglect wasn't just limited to his goods. On stormy nights, he would leave his umbrella outside, not caring if the wind and rain battered it. After all, it was just an object, easily replaced. But what Hiroshi didn't know was that in Japan, even the most mundane items can possess a soul, especially those that have been mistreated. One particularly stormy night, after a long day at the market, Hiroshi returned home, drenched from head to toe. He had forgotten his umbrella again, leaving it behind in a dark alley. But this time, the neglect would have dire consequences. The storm raged on, and as the rain poured, something strange began to happen. The forgotten umbrella started to tremble. Its once vibrant fabric, now dull and torn, fluttered in the wind, as if something inside it was waking up. That night, as Hiroshi slept, a sound began to echo through the streets of Edo. It was a faint, rhythmic tapping, like rain on a tin roof. But the sound wasn't coming from the rain. It was something else, something unnatural. The Kasa-obake, the cursed umbrella spirit, had been born. Once just an ordinary umbrella, it had transformed into a yōkai, a vengeful spirit, because of Hiroshi's neglect. The Kasa-obake was not just angry, it was hungry for retribution. Hiroshi awoke to the strange noise. The tapping grew louder, more insistent, as if something or someone was trying to get in. With a sense of dread creeping up his spine, he slowly approached the window. And there, in the pale light of the moon, he saw it. A single glowing eye staring back at him. The sight was so horrifying that Hiroshi stumbled backward, his heart pounding in his chest. The Kasa-obake wasn't just a ghost. It was a reminder, a punishment for his carelessness. As the creature's single leg hopped closer to his door, the tapping grew louder, echoing through the empty streets. Desperate for help, Hiroshi rushed to the local shrine, where a wise old priest resided. The priest, known for his knowledge of spirits, listened carefully to Hiroshi's story. His face grew solemn as he realized the gravity of the situation. The Kasa-obake was no ordinary spirit. It was a yōkai fueled by years of neglect and disrespect. The priest agreed to help, but warned Hiroshi that the ritual would be difficult. The Kasa-obake was strong, and its anger made it even more dangerous. As the priest prepared, he instructed Hiroshi to gather all the items he had neglected or discarded over the years. Every object had to be accounted for. Nothing could be left behind. As Hiroshi gathered his forgotten belongings, the tapping followed him, growing louder with each step. The Kasa-obake was relentless, its presence a constant reminder of Hiroshi's carelessness. Finally, with his arms full of neglected items, Hiroshi returned to the shrine, where the priest was waiting. The priest began the ritual, chanting ancient prayers as he carefully placed the items around the shrine. The air grew thick with tension, as the Kasa-obake's tapping echoed outside. It was close now, its single eye glaring through the dark. The ritual reached its climax, and just as the Kasa-obake seemed ready to burst through the doors, the priest called out the final incantation. A bright light filled the room, and the Kasa-obake let out a terrifying wail, its form dissolving into mist.